Hello, I am Bane, Japanese speedrunner. I'm happy to show you this game. I'm not good at English, so today I have a commentator, Chenoh.
Hello, my name's Chenoh, and I will be explaining what is exactly happening on the screen and commentating over the game. Starting with the run itself, we have a very convenient thing in the game called speedrun mode that just gets rid of inconvenient things like banners on the location names, etc. that stop the game. So that allows us to go faster. Also introduces one more mechanic that we will be using throughout the run. So without further ado, we can tune into the game, and the timer will start on the first input after we're in the game.
Okay.
Okay, so now we are ready. So 3, 2, 1, go. The first thing we do is pick up a chest. That chest is mandatory, but thankfully it has an item that we really need called Kung Fu Boots. I will explain why later. We also get a first shard that basically functions as skills for our character. We will need very specific skills on our way that we will farm from enemies, since this is where most of the shards come from. Also, main movement tech, at least at the moment, will be backstep cancelling. You just perform it by doing a backstep and crouching. This resets the animation and you just go fast. Now we are doing our first major glitch. By spin kicking in the air and pushing into the geometry, we are able to glitch into the geometry and go out of bounds. This also is combined with the glitch called Suspend Anywhere. The game has a system that creates temporary saves each time you enter a new room. But for whatever reason, if you open a map and you have a marker on that map, it forces the game to suspend any time you just open that map. So when you load the game, everything is reset except for player's position. So enemies, player state, they are reset, but your position stays. So that allows us for infinite vertical movement. Right now we are loading the game over and over to kill that Jula Hammer as many times as we need to get a shard from him, because Jula Hammer Flail will be a shard that will be our main source of damage for the run. And we got it after a few loads. So now we are going into another room that has slopes on the ceiling to glitch into them again. And we got it first try. So now we are entering a boss room, but as you can see, there is no boss. Actually, the game has two versions of the same room in the exact same location, and the only difference is that through Out of Bounds we have entered the room vertically instead of horizontally, which forced the game to load us into the post-boss version of that room. Now we are making our first shopping trip, mostly to get some mana potions and a circlet that gives us additional intelligence stat, which in effect will make us deal more damage with the flail. And again, that being our main source of damage, we need it, especially that we will be going into the final boss very underleveled, so we need any source of damage possible. On the way, we picked up some items for crafting and for sale. Now we are just picking up MP and HP ups, because one of the glitches will be extremely MP heavy, and we need our item route is focused around dealing some additional damage as well as having as many mana potions as possible, and for the safety we'll be getting one HP potion, just so the last boss does not kill us, since you can only afford to take 2 hits. So now we will be going to the castle, so we'll have a time for 1 donation.
Alright, we do have some donations. French Toast sends $20 and says, "Yay, Castlevania block!" and "Yay, Bloodstained!" Donation goes to Host Choice. Doing that blindfolded turbo tunnel.
We have time for 1 more.
Okay. Madoka sends $25 and says, "Thank you for a great SGDQ. Tuning in from Japan."
Okay, so now we will be going into the garden, which will be like first major skip of the game, because normally you can go through the garden after doing about 3 other locations. But before we do that skip, we also need to kill that knight in black armor, since we really need a shard from him. And now I think it's a good time to explain why exactly do we need those shards specifically. First of all, there is a glitch with jumping that lets you jump infinitely if you have any directional shard, which just requires from you directional input and sends out a projectile or some other skill that way. And with that, we are able to jump infinitely, like you can see at the moment. We just skipped a huge gap that would normally be crossed using the carriage that we had on the other side that was blocked. We can just pass through flying like that. And why we needed the shard from the black armor guy. The way we are attacking with the flail is also a glitch called swap casting. So if you are casting one shard and you swap to a different shard of the same type, the next shard will remain some of the properties of the previous one, and since the black armor knight shard is a continuous action, it will also make the flail a continuous action, which will make us deal more damage per second with the flail. Now we have picked up a shard that lets us use a quick swap menu, which will just make swap casting faster. And now we are also farming an enemy for another shard that lets us place chairs anywhere. In this game, Miriam really likes chairs. You can sit on them, and this is just the animation. The thing is, chairs are broken. They lock you in place in the sitting animation, and to avoid any problems, player's collision is turned off. And through the beauty of this game, we are able to break out of the animation state, but we can still keep the no-clip state, which means we will be flying through the map without any collision at all, which will be very soon. But for now, we are just buying some crafting materials and selling stuff that we do not need in order to buy equipment that will increase our intelligence as well as mana potions. And now that we have crafted everything, we are performing yet another glitch. This one is called Squid Menu. We are forcing the game to open a monster manual. We are forcing the game to open the monster manual during animations. And right now, we are able to keep the menus up while we are moving around. And it has a very important property. It lets us skip, or not skip, move during cutscenes that we would normally be locked in place. Also, right now you could see, I didn't take it in time. We have used the Iron Maiden to damage us at the right moment while we were sitting on the chair. So right now we do not have any collision. We still can get hit by enemies, but we can fall through the map. That is why we are using the infinite kicks with directional shards. And as you can see, our MP bar is just going down rapidly. That is because it is really mana intensive, and that is why we need that many mana potions. And this combination of two glitches has a lot of reasoning behind it. Because right now we are coming to the train station that has a gate. That gate only opens when you have a train pass with you. That would also require us to beat around 3 or 4 bosses on the way. But since we can phase through any terrain, we can just pass through that gate. And right now, we are flying behind menus, so we skip one of the cutscenes on the way. Because if we didn't move through during that cutscene, we would be continuously falling through the floor and unable to do anything. While with Squid Menu and No Clip, we can just pass to the Glutton train. And getting to the Glutton train itself, like this part of the map, resets your state, so you no longer have No Clip, so you can see we have collision with the terrain again. And it's very convenient, and it is very convenient that we have it here, since we don't have to use mana to get to the end of the train. But we will be using the chair again, this time to lock ourselves in the screen transition to the boss itself. And let's see if we got it. As soon as the... Yes, we did. So, as you can see, we are falling and our position is reset. This is fine. We really need that no-clip state for what's coming up. So, thankfully, we have Zangetsu with us as an NPC, so we just let him deal with the boss and keep our no-clip state. There will be a cutscene after this, which also would be problematic if we did not have the Squid Menu. But right after the Glutton train, there is a really weird screen transition left that from somewhere around middle of the game puts you straight into the Glacial Tomb, which is the very last location of the game. Keep in mind, we still do not have collision, and we will not have it back until we get to the last boss of the game. Or actually, one of 2 last bosses that just come in sequence. So, as we are going to the final boss, phasing through the terrain, we have time for a donation or 2.
Okay. The Gecko sends $50 and says, "Thanks to everybody at GDQ for putting on such a great event. Looking forward to Castlevania blog." Tech Girl donates $25 and says, "Benefiting Doctors Without Borders and a chance to win a Castlevania-inspired candle. Take my money."
Okay, so we are at the first part of the last boss, which is Dominique. That part is pretty easy and straightforward because of one other property of the flail. You can spam it incredibly fast, and it also deals a lot of stagger damage, which means Dominic is just locked in the animation, she cannot do anything. And now that Dominic is dead, we are going to the very last boss, Bile. That guy has 3 different heads, they all have different attacks, and which one of them can actually be damaged is RNG dependent, because on one of those heads, Dominic will appear. And in this category, it doesn't make that huge of a difference which one we get, because we did get some upgrades to the flail, so the hitbox is bigger. So in the last part of that fight, we are able to hit the enemy from a safe distance. And also get ready on time, because as soon as we deal the last hit to Bile, it will be time. It will happen somewhere around where the cat head stops and gets hit 8 times. And thankfully this pattern is quite merciful. We are not getting hit, which would be pretty dangerous, since that boss can easily kill us in 3 hits. And we are nearing the end. Time. So that was a pretty good run. We had decent RNG with the drops. Every trick worked out on the first attempt, so really good run. Congratulations to the runner.
I did it. It was good run, I think. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Bane, for that awesome run of Bloodstained. Yeah, Bloodstained is great. I love it. I played it pretty much the day it came out, so I loved that. Boss at the end, super scary looking though. Let's see what donations we have. Do we like donations? We do like donations. MindTap sends $100 and says, "Here's a Benny for Castlevania block, less than 3." Heck yeah. Castlevania block. You know, roughly a billion zillion Castlevania games coming up. If you love Castlevania, which I love Castlevania, then you're going to be enjoying all of that. Let's see here. Janice sends $5 and says, "Thank you for all that you do." Well, thank you for your donation. Battle Badger sends $30 and says, "Well done, everyone involved with GDQ, for everything that you're doing. Huge highlight for me every year. Love the show." Jackal sends $25, says, "For science and charity." Both of those things are good. I like both science and charity. Kiefers sends $5 and says, "Less than 3." Like, literally spells out the phrase "less than 3." This isn't just the heart emote. Is an actual less than 3. So, but you know what? 5 isn't less than 3. 5 is actually more than 3. Did you know that, chat? I didn't know that until like an hour ago. Someone told me. That's right. Learning things. Education. UR sends $250 and says, "I love SGDQ and appreciate the work Doctors Without Borders do. Thanks for making it possible to watch entire games run during my lunch break." That's true. Like, I'm gonna grab a sandwich and I'm gonna watch Castlevania. Which will be done first? Me eating my sandwich, or Dracula getting his head smacked around by magic vampire killing whip? look at some more donation incentives and bids coming up. Our next bonus game, by the way, is Grand Theft Auto 3. It is to add an any percent run of Grand Theft Auto 3 to the schedule. We have some time left, don't get me wrong, but we do need a total of $90,000 to get it. So if you are a big fan of GTA, then get those donations in. By the way, once again, the upcoming bid war is Carrie Fernandez or Schneider Reinhardt for Castlevania 64. And Reinhardt is now leading has a little further lead than before. Reinhardt's at $1,660, and Carrie is at $1,335. Personally, I'm for Reinhardt because his jump animation looked real dumb. Carrie's looks a little bit less stupid, so we obviously want the dumber animation. I'm a fan of dumb animation. I feel like dumb animation makes the world go around. We also have the blindfolded turbo tunnel for Battletoads. Mexican Runner will do the turbo tunnel stage blindfolded. It is extremely difficult to stage without the blindfold. So if you want to see that, I believe, let me check and make absolutely sure, but I believe, yes, Battletoads is actually after Castlevania block. Now, there are a billion zillion Castlevania games being run, but you know how speedrunners are. They will finish them very quickly. More quickly than you would think. So, let's get those donations in for Blindfolded Turbo Tunnel. That is where my host choice is going to. So, let's make that happen. Gist Trio sends $150. No comment on that donation, but we appreciate it all the same. Thank you so much. Chad sends $250 and says, super proud to be supporting after such a challenging 2020. As a nurse on the front lines against the pandemic, I'm so happy to give back and also support such a great cause. Donating in honor of my boyfriend Jake and his favorite series, Mega Man. Favorite series is Mega Man. Wise choice. That's what I say. Wise choice. Mega Man, extremely good. It is quite mega. Habit sends $30. It says, glad GDQ is here with another week of amazing speedruns and exhibitions. And now we are going to go over to an interview. So let's check out this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful interview with wonderful people doing wonderful speedruns for wonderful causes. Take it away.
What is up, speed gamers? I am Spikevegeta, and the best part of waking up is speedrunning in your cup. That's right. You can tell we just rolled over. We're rolling into the interview. We gained some time overnight. Hope you guys are enjoying Summer Games Done Quick 2021. It has been an amazing event so far. Well over $300,000 raised for MSF, for Doctors Without Borders. Amazing. I am joined today at the start of our Castlevania block. Just got started off, I would say proper enough there with Bloodstained run. And now after this Dawn of Summer run, we're going to have Castlevania 64 run by the one, the only Ty. What is up, gamer?
Good morning, everybody. How is everyone doing? Hopefully you're doing well, Spike. It's like I know we're all doing well in this morning time, but we'll get through it just fine.
Yeah, I know. You can tell we all are like, breakfast. Okay, yeah. All right. Early shift, let's do it. But just like Bowie yesterday, I'm in here with a dapper-looking gentleman, looking good. Feeling excited about your run?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, of course, there's the anxiety issues, of course, and everyone's been killing the run so fast that we've been going a little early, and it's like, oh, God, let's panic. But no, there's no need to panic. I still feel surprisingly calm.
Well, no, but that's the good thing. At this point, I think everyone in the truck would be like, okay, can some of these runners start going overestimate? Like, we need to even this sucker out. Bring it back. All right. What do you have, like a 45, 50-minute estimate? Go like an hour and a half. It'll be great. We'll be right back.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's like I might have to just slow things down. It's like I should have put some extra stuff in the end just to like showcase things if I were to be too fast. Right. Like, holy moly.
And I'm sure Castlevania 64 actually the kind of game like, so let's talk about like just the history of the existence of Castlevania 64. Anyone who is anyone on the internet, you knew for years. I had played this game before a couple of years ago. It's not like, oh, okay, it was this like weird 3D, almost like redheaded stepchild of the Castlevania series. While the N64 was getting this, PlayStation 1's over there getting Symphony of the Night. Oh, this amazing game, like defined a generation of gaming and everything, yada, yada, yada.
Changed the world.
Yes, completely changed the world. This one changed some sort of world. Maybe it's the trajectory of Castlevania. But I will say I played this game casually just a couple of years ago. I enjoyed it. So my first question for you, anytime we get one of these games that like is not super well remembered, speedrunner for it, do you enjoy the game casually?
Yeah, no, I still enjoy it casually. I usually bring up all the time that Castlevania 64 is basically just today's Dark Souls. It's like everyone usually has been just enjoying the difficulty of Dark Souls. They want to just bring pain amongst themselves with hard difficulty and platforming and just action gaming all together. And it's like, I think Castlevania 64 brought that together well before Dark Souls ever did. It's like there was plenty of problems. I know plenty of people have seen Angry Video Game Nerds video of it, which gave it kind of a bad rep. And I agree, there are definitely some bad points to the game. But I think nowadays I can play it casually and actually still enjoy it, even though I know I'm going to die a handful of times. I think you just kind of have to go in with that mentality, knowing that it's going to be a difficult task for you. And as soon as you actually have that mentality, I think you can fly by it pretty fine and have a decent time with it.
God, I can't believe you called me out that hard. I'm thinking to myself, that's why I liked that game. Because Dark Souls, you gotta have like a certain flavor of game.
You really
like,
do.
Oh yeah, like this was just '90s Dark Souls. That's what CD64 is. Oh my God. So.
It really was, because I know back in the day, it's like I hated the game originally, and even Demon Souls and Dark Souls first came out. I was like, why would people enjoy this game? And then, you kind of have to get into it, and you eventually understand somehow.
There's weird time of day mechanics in this game and everything. Yeah, it's got some weird stuff, but like actually very enjoyable. It is a very playable game, believe it or not. So I do want to also just talk about the fact that this is a game. There's a lot of, not to keep harping on this, there's a lot of bad games that get featured at GDQs. Again, I wouldn't consider this a bad game, but it's got a reputation to it. Yeah. Here's the thing. Usually when it's just like a ha-ha funny, it doesn't come back. It gets shown one time at GDQ. This has been featured 3, 4, maybe 4 times now at GDQs. What is it that keeps you coming back as a runner to this game and just the game coming back to GDQs? It's a pretty good speed run, right?
Yeah, no, it's actually a game that's surprisingly played throughout the years, especially between the first original Castlevania for the N64 and then there's Castlevania Legacy of Darkness, which their expansion pretty much a year after that. And both have seen play here and there, and I think maybe part of it is due to just completely different character and character levels. You get the 2 characters on the first Castlevania. You get 4 characters on Legacy of Darkness. It's like, I can't even remember. It's like, I know Reinhardt from the original has been played. Cornell and Henry have been played from Legacy of Darkness. And so I think you're just starting to get the whole flavor where everyone's trying to get their character in, because each character is different almost all throughout their entire stages of the game. Some stages will be similar, but they do have their separate stages to themselves as well. And even though they might seem very similar, even as far as their tricks go, it'll be even funny to the point where you have a small little 12-year-old girl, Carrie, that can somehow skip through majority of levels where Reinhardt's clunky big model can't quite get through these cracks and corners. And yet somehow he can just run through doors and walls for no reason whatsoever that Carrie can't do. And it's like that's one of the main reasons why they bring their own unique flavors, is they have their own set of bags and tricks, even though they're completely different characters. I know people prefer one over the other because one has a whip. Everyone enjoys it. The other has a heat-seeking missile, which is just kind of fun and generally easier. It's like, please, if you play Castlevania 64, just pick up Carrie. It's an easier time, I promise.
Geez, please do that. Yeah, I was going to say, the more I play retro games in the speedrunning community, we go back, we do our little improv or blindish races of the games. I always say, here's my number 1 tip. 1, know there's a time of day mechanic, but 2, start with Carrie. There is a heat-seeking charge missile you can use the whole time. It's great.
Yeah, it's so much easier compared to a whip that doesn't have the best of range either, and that orb literally just flies. You could be a mile away, it's still going to your target. It's it seems kind of broken.
Well, here you go. It's almost like a character you would unlock in post game.
Exactly.
So let's talk actually a little bit about the fact that this is, Castlevania 64 speedrun doing it for GDQ, but it is also a bid war between Carrie and Reinhardt. You have top times both of them. World record holder in Reinhardt, top 3 in Carrie. Can you tell us a little bit? I know you touched on it a little bit, the differences between the two categories about just kind of what viewers could see today. And do you personally have a preference of which one you'd like to see win the bid war?
Yeah, well, I'll start with a preference of the bid war. I know I had done Reinhardt back in 2016. It's been a whole 5 years since I've been back here. But since I did Reinhardt that year, it's like I was hoping to do Carrie this year, and it's like that's what my fingers will be crossed for. I'm not going to lie. I know they do have quite a few differences between them. I know there's going to be some similar tricks that I was kind of mentioning that you'll see that'll be exactly the same, but done a little differently. I know at least the second level Castle Walls has this tower skip that we will do, and the Carrie, for example, just basically side hops into it to get out of bounds, where Reinhardt has to do a back hopping method to get out of bounds. Both of them are really kind of odd and look a little bit different. The trick is still kind of the same, but yeah, because of their models and textures, it's like you do have to at least do the setups almost completely different. So you'll see almost a lot of similar tricks done between both of them, but the only major differences I'd say you will see is that Reinhardt and Carrie have their own 3 specialized levels within the run. So it's like you'll be able to see some rather unique levels in platforming and some extra boss fights where they try to mix up the stories between characters, where obviously the Whip Boy wants to have this loving relationship with this female vampire that you're going to run into.
As everyone does.
Yeah, right. And you can't really do that with Carrie. That doesn't quite work. So, we actually got to put a witch in there to make that make sense. So, you'll run into a few different characters, different boss battles along the run, whichever one you choose.
So definitely looking forward to either one of those. Again, you guys can go on gamesdonequick.com. Keep throwing down for that bid war, because right after this run of Dawn of Sorrow here kicking off the Castlevania block, it's going to be Ty running Castlevania 64 with your choice, Carrie versus Reinhardt. He's already thrown down his choice. He'd like to see Carrie win it. But Reinhardt, we got the world record holder in the call with us today, and it ain't me. So, y'all's choice which one you want to see. Now,
I'll be fine with either.
Now, Ty, before I let you start getting ready with your run of CV64 as we're getting set up for Castlevania, I do want to ask you just a little bit. I was kind of doing some research on your speedrun.com profile page, and this is a weird circumstance. The last 2 interviews I've done, I got to interview my boy Bowie yesterday, and now you today. Somehow I keep getting runners of Shining Force 2 who are not actually running Shining Force 2 here at this GDQ. I said, Ty's got a top 6 time. It's Shining Force 2. If anyone's ever played it for the Genesis, fantastic RPG, amazing speed run. Just kind of what are your feelings on the game? And, it looks like you're relatively active in that. Any plans for it in the future?
Yeah, I think I actually do. It's like, so the funny thing is Shining Force and Shining Force 2 in general have actually seen a lot of play recently, just because Shining Force 2 has seen a lot of out of bounds tech, surprisingly enough, and it keeps being worked around. More and more stuff keeps getting looped around, whereas I know Bowie will continuously play doing runs that don't actually involve the pretty much a glitchless sort of route. He'll throw in the RNG manipulations, but he's never been a fan of doing the advanced out of bounds trickery, where I decided to put it amongst myself to do such a thing. That is the only reason I have a top time. Don't look at that top time and be like, dang, he's good. Trust me, it's like the top 2 runners do it a very, very good justice, and absolutely. And it's like, I think it's actually a lot of fun. It's made the game so fast. It's unbelievable. And it's like, I do plan on getting back to it as well, because I'm not really happy with my time. I know Bowie's going to continue playing it for years on end, but in terms of skill, I was like, the only reason I'm even getting a decent time is just because of so much 15 to 18, I think, out of bounds trickery in battles.
Wow.
That is just, it's gone. It's probably over 20 now. It's like, I know the top runners of that just continuously find stuff for it. But yeah, no, I still play Shining Force from occasion. It's like I would jump between 1 and 2, but it's like Shining Force 2, I definitely need to get a better time in. It's like with the more tricks that I keep running into, the more I want to play the game. It's so interesting to me. So it's like, I definitely plan on doing more in the future. Absolutely. It's like, I don't think it's a game that I'll ever stray away from.
Yeah, I think the game always. I remember getting to watch it at RPG Limit Break a handful of years ago. I think it looks like a fantastic speedrun. So much strategy involved in it. Just a beautiful looking game. And I was wondering when I looked at you on the leaderboard, I said, "Oh, is it world record around like 6 hours?" It's like 4 all of a sudden. I said, something happened to this game. I'm glad you got to explain it to me what happened right there.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. It's like I think even back at the time when you were watching it, I think was the first time that an out of bounds source was actually like founded. If I remember correctly, it was that long ago. It's just like year after year, just more and more keeps piling up. And I don't think it'll ever stop. It'll be sub 4 eventually. It's crazy.
Hey, before you know it, GDQ might get to showcase it all of a sudden.
I was gonna say
it's short enough to get a time slot.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's getting under 4 hours. That sounds like a decent time for a GDQ, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're definitely seeing some long runs. We got Golden Sun, The Lost Age coming up tomorrow, guys. All Golden Sun fans. That's around 4 hours. We can get some Shining Force 2 love in here. We'll see. I'm not part of the games committee. I'm not trying to commit them to anything. Just subliminally dropping it here at 7:20
wink.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure none of them are awake right now. But Ty, thank you so much for joining me today, my friend. Again, we are kicking off the Castlevania block proper again. And you who are Castlevania fans, you're in the right place. I don't know how you stumbled on this. But we're kicking off with Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow. And after that, it'll be the winner of the Castlevania 64 bid war. Carrie, Reinhardt, which one you want to see? It's completely up to you guys. It's a close bid war. Ty's going to be taking it down either way. Ty, thank you once again so much. Best of luck. Have fun, my friend. We're going to send it back up to the front. See you later.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and you are watching Summer Games Done Quick 2021 online. Hello, everybody. My name is Lat Mackey, and you are about to start a wonderful Castlevania block. The donations are rolling in. Thank you for showing all of your support for MSF and for the runners you are about to see. We've got so many donations coming in. Let's get started and read a few. If you're here in the States, good morning, GDQ. Woke up just in time to catch the Castlevania block, and what a great time to start the day. Let's hit those incentives that give us more GDQ. Thank you, Canucks. Tenma for the $50 donation. And Cetra Blues donates $25 and says, Castlevania block hype. Let's go kill us some vampires and put an end to Dracula's shenanigans. Well said, and what a great way to start off what you're about to see, which is a bunch of Castlevania goodness. Habit donates $30 and says, glad GDQ is here with another week of amazing speedruns and exhibitions. Couldn't agree with you more, Habit. Thank you so much for the donation. Now let's just keep it going here. We have an anonymous $250 donation. GDQ is my favorite place to donate throughout the year. It has been so good to watch this organization grow over the years. And I couldn't agree with you more, Anonymous. This is so wonderful. Thank you for the donation. Folks, here it is. What a great way to start the Castlevania block here for Summer Games Done Quick 2021 online. To start this whole thing off, we have Diagon running Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow on the Nintendo DS. Diagon, take it away. It's all up to you. Good luck.